Hey guys, Liz Hogan here with STX. Today I'm going to be giving you a tutorial on how to string your launch tube pocket in this Crux 600 head. Be sure to check out the description below for all the materials you'll need, and once you get them, we're going to start on our top string. So the first thing we need to do before we start stringing the head is we need to make our vertical nylons. So to do that, we're going to make a slip knot, and that's simply taking the top end of your nylon, wrapping it around the main part of the nylon twice, and then coming back up, back where you started towards the loop, and bringing it back down to through those two gaps. And you're going to pull tight. And if you do it correctly, you should be able to move this up and down on the nylon. Okay, so we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Make a little slip knot, again going around twice. And then again, you can see you have these two holes. I'm just going to bring it back down through there and tie tight. All right, so we have our vertical nylons ready to go. So the next thing we need to do is our top string, which we need to make a double overhand knot for. So similar to our slip knot, we're going to go around twice, but then instead of coming back up, we're going to just bring it through the two loops that we just created, so that we have a nice double overhand knot. Okay, going through the first hole on the sidewall, we're going to bring our string through so that the knot is on the outside, and then we're going to start to attach our vertical runners. To do that, we're going to go from the back of the head, going down through the first top string hole, and then coming back up. You want to make sure that you make that loop around and come back from where you came from, and don't just go straight down and up like this. Okay, so really make sure that you come back up, catch that nylon that you sent through, so you have a nice knot. Then you're going to take your vertical runner and your top string, and you're just going to guide it right through that loop that you created. Now we're going to do a very similar step that we just did, but instead of going down through the back side, we're going to come up through the front side, and again going through that loop that we just created. So it should look like that. We can tighten up our nylon right now. We're going to proceed with the same exact steps, going down through the back side, coming back up, making sure we make that loop. Then we're going to take our launch pocket. We want to make sure that our launch pocket is facing towards the front of the head, so that grippy side is facing towards the front where the ball will be. We're going to take our top string, guide it through that first hole, and then again coming up through the front side, going through that loop. Okay. Now the next step, we don't need to do anything with the top holes. We're just going to take the top string and guide it through that middle loop there. Okay. Then everything we just did, we're going to do the exact same thing going back towards the outside. So we're going to go from down, coming back up. We're going to go through that loop on the runner. Make sure the whole time you're going tight as well. Coming back up from the front side. And then we're going to finish again attaching our vertical runner with all the same steps. We're going to go through that big loop that we created. Coming back up. So the last part, we're going to take this top string. We're going to guide it through from the inside out on that first sidewall hole at the top. And we're going to make another double overhand knot to secure the top string. So again, make two loops. I like to use my finger. Drive that through the hole. Make sure it's nice and snug and tight. And you can tighten your nylons. So we have our top string. The only thing we really need to do is to finish our runners here. So the nylons are pretty simple. They just go right through the outside holes on the scoop, or on the base of the head, at the throat. Now to secure the launch pocket, we need to do our bottom string. So we're going to take our bottom string, guide it through one of the inner holes, bring it through that launch pocket, those two loops right there, bring it back through the throat holes, and then we're just going to simply tie them off, again with one overhand knot, guiding both ends of the bottom string through. So what you have here is a very secure knot. Then the next thing we need to do is tie off our outside nylons, and it's really important that these are super tight because that's going to create our channel. So you can see we have our launch pocket that already has a nice channel, but we need to make sure that these stay tight so that the ball stays in the middle of the pocket and doesn't roll all over. So when tying these, we want to make sure that they're super tight, and you're just going to make a single knot driving through. So again, try to keep that as tight as possible as you're doing it. Pull tight. So this should look something like that. You're going to repeat the same process on the other side. Again, pulling tight, just making one loop, bringing your nylon through it, and then pulling tight so that you maintain that channel in the pocket. Okay. So now we've done our nylons and our runner. So the next step is we just want to trim our excess string here. So what I like to do is actually take these runners and make a knot so that if I need to adjust, I have enough string to do so, but then any excess string beyond here, I really don't need. So I'm just going to take it, cut it an inch or so below. And then always make sure that you burn your ends. If you don't burn your ends, it will fray, and then you will find that your pocket breaks down. Okay, we're gonna do the same things with this. We don't need any more than a couple inches here. Any more than that, it might get in your face, or it might get in your way you grip. So we're just gonna trim them enough again so that we have room to adjust, but not any more than that. Okay. And then I just don't like any string up here. So that is your top string and the attachment of your launch pocket and nylon runners. So now we're going to move on to our sidewall. To begin our sidewall, we're going to do the exact same thing that we did with our top string, and with that we're going to make a double overhand knot. Okay, so I got my 2 loops, bring it through and pull tight. Okay. So to do this, we're going to take this string, we're actually going to put it through the same hole that we started with our top string. We're going to pull tight, and then we're going to proceed with the same steps as well. So we're going to go from the outside in through the head, and then again we created this loop and we want to make sure that we bring the sidewall and connect it. So it is just the same as your top string, but now we're doing it on the sidewall, and we're going to skip every other hole. So we're going to skip a hole, again going from the outside in, coming up through that loop and pulling tight. Again, make sure that you have this knot created. If you don't come back up through the loop, you won't have that knot created. So again, skipping another hole, going in from the outside in, from the outside in. And then on your last hole, you're going to proceed going from the inside out, again, because we're going to tie off. And then we're just going to use a double overhand knot. It's really important that the sidewall stays super tight, because again, that's controlling your pocket depth, and the tighter it is, the more consistent. So we got a double overhand knot. Just going to tie off. Okay. Then whatever you do to one side, you want to do the other. So we're going to go through the exact same thing, making our double overhand knot, skipping every other hole, and doing the sidewall. So going through the same hole as our top string, coming from the outside in, go all of the way down. Finally finishing going inside out. Get it through this hole. And then a double overhand knot. Again, making sure that's super tight. So that is your sidewall. Pretty simple. It should look something like that when you finish.